In the quiet villages of East Africa, stories linger, whispered softly under the glow of the moon. Among these tales, none are as unsettling as those of the night dancers. To some, they are cursed souls. To others, they are living beings who have chosen a path of darkness. Yet for all who know the stories, one thing is clear: the night belongs to them. During the day, they blend seamlessly into village life. They are the farmers who till the fields, the traders who barter at markets, the parents who call their children home before dusk. But when night falls, everything changes. Under the shroud of darkness, they cast off their clothes and humanity, covering their bodies in ashes as though they're shedding their ties to the living world. Their laughter, eerie and hollow, has been said to freeze even the bravest in their tracks. People speak of where they roam: abandoned homes, forgotten crossroads, and graveyards where the dead do not rest peacefully. Some believe night dancers disturb graves to gain supernatural powers. Others say they're fulfilling rituals to appease restless spirits or malevolent forces. And there are those who whisper that night dancers are paying a price, a curse placed upon them for sins long past. In the villages, people take precautions. Charms are hung over doorways, herbs are burned, and prayers are whispered before the family retires for the night. Occasionally, groups form to patrol the village, their torches lighting the darkness. But even in numbers, there is fear, for night dancers are said to be faster than the wind and vanish like smoke when pursued. Though scholars may dismiss these tales as folklore, the villagers know better. The stories are shared around fires in hushed tones, with eyes flickering toward the shadows. Whether real or imagined, the night dancers have a hold on the imagination, a reminder that some parts of the night are not meant to be understood. Mpoza considered himself a practical man. He wasn't one to be swayed by tales of curses or spirits. Life in his village was hard enough without giving in to fear. So, when the communal well ran dry one evening, he decided to fetch water from the spring beyond the hills. It wasn't the first time he'd done it, and he knew the path well. The night was unnaturally still. The usual hum of crickets was absent, and the breeze that usually rustled the banana trees had vanished. Mpoza felt a prick of unease, but shrugged it off. Slinging his jerrycan over his shoulder, he set off, the moonlight his only guide. As he approached the spring, he heard it, a laugh, faint and distant. It wasn't the laughter of children or even adults. It was thin, hollow and wrong. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. "It's just the wind," he told himself, though the words felt hollow. Then it came again, louder this time, followed by the sound of bare feet slapping against the dirt. Mpoza turned, and his blood turned cold. A figure stood behind him, crouched low and covered in ash. Its eyes glowed faintly in the moonlight, and its movements were jerky, unnatural, like a puppet pulled by invisible strings. The jerrycan slipped from his hand as he bolted, his feet pounding against the ground. The laugh followed him, closer now, echoing off the trees. Branches tore at his arms as he veered off the path, desperate to lose the figure in the thick brush. He could hear it gaining on him, its steps impossibly fast. Then a sharp tug at his shoulder. He had been caught. Mpoza swung his arm backward in desperation, feeling his hand snag something soft. He didn't stop to look. Clutching what he realized was a tuft of hair, he ran until he saw the flickering lights of the village. He stumbled into the clearing, gasping for breath, the hair still clutched in his trembling hand. Villagers rushed to him, their faces etched with concern. Between breaths, he told them what had happened, showing the tuft of wiry, grey hair as proof. Some believed him immediately, muttering prayers and lighting protective fires. Others dismissed him, laughing nervously and calling him delirious. But Mpoza was adamant. He described every detail: the laughter, the glowing eyes, the unnatural speed. The next day he went door to door, repeating his tale to anyone who would listen. Some urged him to visit the healer to cleanse himself, warning that the night dancer might come back for him. Others begged him to stop talking about it, fearing that his words would attract more trouble. That night, Mposa locked himself in his hut, lighting a candle and setting charms around his bed. He lay awake for hours, flinching at every rustle of the wind. Eventually, exhaustion claimed him. By morning, Mposa was gone. His hut was locked from the inside, his bed untouched. Villagers found his jerrycan outside, but no trace of Mposa remained. The tuft of hair he had shown so many was lying neatly on his bed. Theories spread quickly. Some said the night dancer had come back to claim him. Others believed he had crossed into the spirit world, a punishment for meddling with forces he didn't understand. No one knows what happened to Mposa. His name is now whispered in the same hushed tones as the tales of the night dancers, a warning to those who dare venture into the darkness. Whatever chased him that night seemed to have claimed him in the end, leaving only silence and unanswered questions.